Let's use the I Do philosophy to discuss maintaining and documenting the relationship. Next, should the relationship fail, we will part friendly. Yes, it is possible to part friendly. Stay with me, and we will discuss how. Greetings, datives of all ages. I'm John F. Whitney, author of the book I Do, If It's Equitable, a philosophy for dating and marriage to avoid the potential horrors of divorce. I will be your host and guide as we discuss the I Do philosophy. We'll maintaining the relationship. Our purpose and goal: to encourage honest, open, and regular communication between partners, to assure that both partners remain in tandem as to the social, spiritual, emotional, and financial needs of the relationship. Even a cursory examination of the I Do philosophy will make one truth absolutely clear. Honest and open communication lies at its very heart. Why? Because communication is essential to any successful voyage. Consider a ship's captain charting an ocean liner from one port to another. Now imagine if a storm is on the horizon, but the crew refuses to communicate with the captain. How would the captain know where the storm is, or how the course must be changed in order to bring all safely to shore? Certain disaster awaits such a ship whose crew refuses to communicate and cooperate during the voyage. Dating and marriage are also voyages that will face strong winds and rough seas. Unless both persons communicate and cooperate honestly and openly, neither can warn the other off nor assist the relationship during rough seas. The I Do philosophy indeed demands open and honest communication during dating that must be continued after marriage. To that end, schedule time as and if required to discuss social and financial expectations of and from each partner. Reserve quiet time to discuss emotional and spiritual needs of the relationship. Address anticipated financial obligations over and above the usual expenses, and consider how they will be met. And for heaven's sake, be certain to schedule some time with each other to enjoy the relationship. That, after all, is the reason for adopting the I Do philosophy in the first place. We'll document. Documentation. The purpose is to allow clear and timely proof of profit and property acquired during the relationship, to establish a means by which profit and property of the relationship is accounted for and divided. The goal is to render moot any current or future argument as to the ownership of any item acquired during the relationship. The best way to avoid arguing over any item acquired during the relationship is to document the item, its cost, and the exact amount each partner contributed to its purchase. By documenting all property in this manner, each partner is assured to retain their items, or, once sold, assured their equitable percentage of the profit from each sale. Most importantly, you defuse or erase a greedy, uncaring attorney who might convince you to fight like hell for what is yours, even if it's not yours. Remember, what's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. What's ours will be equitably divided. Profit and property division. Profit and property are divided during and after the relationship on a prorated, equitable basis. That is, any item acquired requires funds for its purchase. If only one partner provides these funds, although both might have access to or use of that item, then the partner that paid for the item owns the item. However, if both partners contribute to the purchase, then their profit in that item is prorated against the amount they contributed to its purchase. Examples might help solidify this point. A couple window shops. He falls in love with a tapestry, which will look great in his study. He cannot afford the tapestry. She agrees that the tapestry would look great in his study. She purchases it. Both will enjoy the tapestry. It will hang in his study, but she owns it as she paid for it, unless she gifts it to him. In either case, the purchase should be documented. His car dies. She contributes 10% towards the purchase of a new car for him. Both have access to it. He uses it more than she does. He owns 90% equity in the car. If and when it is sold, he will receive 90% of the selling price, while she receives 10%. A word to the wise. The I Do philosophy demands common sense be applied, especially in the area of documentation. Although it is important to document items that are required during the relationship, only you can determine which items merit documentation. Do you document every item, or only big-ticket items? Conversely, do you ignore birthday, Christmas, or other gifts? And expensive items? You decide. The I Do philosophy requires that income issues be addressed before marriage. Income responsibilities, which each spouse brought into the marriage, are their responsibility after the marriage. Joint expenses are shared using a prorated equitable approach based upon the net income of each partner. For example, I earn 3 times more than you do. I contribute 3 times your amount to the joint account and joint expenses. Most important, the I Do philosophy demands that partners live within their respective means. Plan, yes. Dream, of course. But each material possession can only come in its own time, if at all. Finally, the I Do philosophy demands that prospective spouses respect the material possessions of the other. They have them. I only share them. They keep them after I am gone. A case study entitled, "Oh yeah? Well, what about husband number 7? Or was it 8? Consider the ages-old question, does he or she love me for me or my money? Now consider Ms. Elizabeth Taylor. How much did husband number 7, or was it 8, want from her? Potential millions. Did he earn or deserve the substantial amount he demanded from her? Maybe, maybe not. I know one thing for sure. In the end, it was Ms. Taylor who had to part with her hard-earned money. How might the I Do philosophy have served Ms. Taylor? Perhaps she might have limited her losses by insisting that husband number 7, or was it 8, accept will behave item number 7. I will not expect to gain more from the relationship than I have equitably earned. She might also have adopted we believe item number 2. Neither partner will expect a lifestyle greater than one his or her own income makes possible. We believe item number 3. Upon divorce, I will forfeit any advance in lifestyle which is the result of the other person's income. And we believe item number 1. Any material and financial gains earned by a partner prior to the relationship are exempt from the relationship. Any of these might possibly have served Ms. Taylor well. How? If he balked at accepting any of these expectations while dating, then she might have wisely decided not to make him husband number 7. Or was it 8? To her credit, and a lesson for all of us to apply, Ms. Taylor had husband number 7, or was it 8, sign a contract that limited him to 20% of her earnings during marriage. This was his fair market value for managerial services he would provide during the marriage. I personally believe that it was this firm amount that he would earn managing her career that the court used to make its determination. As we will discuss in the video Legal Aspects of the I Do philosophy, prenuptial agreements are weaker than a contract. We might agree today but disagree tomorrow. Contract law is more binding, harder to break than a prenuptial agreement. And remember, if the prenup does not meet certain requirements, the court will reject it. This is why the end result of all communication, understanding, and acceptance of each partner while dating is turned into an I Do marriage contract. We will discuss this in section 3. These managerial services fall right in line with will behave item number 14. I will not expect to hold a position in any business my partner has unless my experience and resume justify it. Ms. Taylor made certain that the line between personal and business assets was not crossed. The total value for these services came to $1.3 million. However, he was not satisfied with this amount and wanted more, to the tune of $80,000 per month and half of her earnings. The court rejected his pleadings. This is a true victory for Ms. Taylor, especially given that California is a community property state. Without the binding contract in her possession, which fixed his amount to 20% of the marital assets, community property law would have entitled him to 50% of all of her assets. Finally, ladies, beware. So many of you demand equality. Bravo. May it be so. However, true equality should mean that you pay alimony and/or child support to your ex-husband. You lose half of your assets in a divorce action and/or maintain a lifestyle your ex-husband has become accustomed to. Not to fear this equality, the I Do philosophy will serve and protect you as well. Will part friendly. Terminating the relationship. The purpose is to give the ending of the relationship the same respect and honor that existed during the relationship. The goal is to prevent one partner from causing financial harm to the other, to diminish the opportunity, all too apparent in the current divorce system, for one partner to inflict spiritual or emotional pain to the other. How? By removing the usual areas of conflict or manipulation that the current divorce system thrives off of: profit and property, children, shelter, and the joint account. Profit and property. Profit and property are divided on a prorated, equitable basis and is determined by the equity each partner has in any item. As we discussed in the section on money, if properly documented, possession of any item should never become an issue of contention. Dividing these items should be efficient and unquestioned. Children. Each partner provides for children on a prorated, equitable basis. To minimize conflict, let the equity of each partner at the time divorce is raised serve as the prorated amount each will contribute to the children, but never less than allowed by applicable state law. For example, presume at the time divorce is broached, I earn 4 times your income. The child requires $500 a month in support. I contribute $400. You contribute $100. Perhaps some years later, college becomes an issue. Tuition is $10,000. I am obligated for $8,000. Your share is $2,000. Shelter. The path of least resistance would dictate that the home address be maintained by both, used by both, until it is vacated by both. However, if this is not possible, a different residence for one partner must be obtained, perhaps on a prorated basis, until the divorce is final. Or a partner can choose to vacate the home address at their own expense, but might still maintain their prorated payment to the home address until the divorce is final, especially if there are any children living in the home. Joint account. Once divorce is broached, divide the joint account on a prorated, equitable basis. For example, my equity is 4 times yours. There is $10,000 in the joint account. I receive $8,000 and you receive $2,000. At this point, no further deposits are made into the joint account. Modification. During the relationship, any modification is possible so long as both partners concur with it. However, once the relationship is terminated, neither partner has access, right, entitlement, claim, or interest in the subsequent income and/or property of the other. This assures that once we part, we part. We are free to begin new lives with a minimum of financial baggage to deal with. I have what is mine, you have what is yours. We equitably divided what was ours. The children are equitably provided for by both of us. we can be secure in knowing what we gain from this point forward cannot and will not be lost to a spiteful ex or their greedy attorney. We part to begin new lives with all financial matters settled equitably. This concludes our discussion on maintaining, documenting, and parking friendly. Our next topic will make it binding, legal aspects of the I Do philosophy. I hope you will join me. If you learned anything of value, please consider hitting that like and share button. Leave me a comment, especially if you have a question, concern, problem, or issue we might be able to solve together. Or perhaps you can assist me in improving my presentation to you. And finally, if you feel I am worthy of your time and effort, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you know when I upload a new installment of the I Do philosophy. Until next time, date wisely, date safely, and remember, I do, if it's equitable.